while millions of people are walking into rooms smiling by default, performing warmth they don't feel. There's a smaller group who keep finding themselves outside conversations they never intended to miss. And according to social psychology, it isn't your character on trial. It's the 4 seconds it takes for a stranger's nervous system to sort you into safe or stay away. Stay with me. I'm giving you 7 signs you intimidate people without realizing it, and the psychology behind why your stillness reads as threat. Sign 1 starts now. Number 1. Your face doesn't perform for free. Some people's faces run on autopilot, smiling by default, softening when someone walks in. Unpaid emotional labor just to seem approachable. Yours might not. When you're thinking, your face settles into neutral that others read as annoyed or judging. It's a strange unfairness, being cross-examined for an expression you weren't aware you were wearing. Here's the psychology: humans sort strangers in under 4 seconds along 2 dimensions, warmth and competence. A 2002 Princeton study found it's specifically the high competence, low warmth combination that triggers wariness. Their brain decides you're a judge before you've given a verdict. Number 2, you don't fear silence, and silence makes people confess. Most people fill dead air out of nerves or reflex, managing their own discomfort out loud. You don't need to, so you don't. And the room mistakes your calm for judgment. Somebody described this to me as feeling like they were being interviewed by someone who already knew the answer. You're just not anxious about quiet the way they are. Notice that your lack of anxiety becomes their anxiety. This is what psychologists call emotional contagion in reverse. Your stillness forces them to feel their own discomfort without you absorbing it. Number 3, you talk like the decision's already made. This comes from competence, not ego. When you know what you're doing, you say it plainly. No hedging, no I think, maybe. To someone unsure of themselves, that directness sounds like a closed door. A stranger's mind fills the gap with worst-case guessing faster than you'd think. Research on assertive communication shows that direct speech activates threat detection in insecure listeners, not because you're threatening, but because their self-doubt needs reassurance you aren't providing. Number 4, you don't ask for reassurance, so people assume you don't need any. Watch your room. Most people are constantly checking, was that funny, did that land? A quiet economy of glances and nervous laughs. If you don't do that, if you say something and let it sit without checking faces for approval, you look untouchable. Nobody clocks that you might actually care what they think. They just clock that you're not asking, and mistake self-containment for indifference. The quietest insecurity is needing constant reassurance. Yet somehow the person who doesn't need it ends up looking like the threat. Number 5, eye contact. You don't break first. Most social eye contact is a negotiation, a dance of who looks away first, who signals safety. If you naturally hold it a beat longer, not aggressive, just steady, it reads as challenge before their brain registers what happened. Animals do this constantly. People just do it with more shame afterward, replaying it on the drive home, wondering why they felt so exposed. From your side, you were just trying to focus. Neuroscience calls this prolonged gaze fixation, a trait linked to higher testosterone and confidence, both of which trigger submissive responses in socially anxious individuals. Number 6, your standards are visible even when your mouth stays shut. You don't have to say that's not good enough for someone to feel it. People sense it in the questions you ask, in the pause before you respond to their idea. They project their own insecurity onto that silence and decide you're judging them, when really you are just thinking. Standards are loud even when you never raise your voice. This is implicit standards projection, your cognitive price. Number 7, and this is the cruelest, because it's the most misunderstood. You go quiet exactly when you're nervous, and it reads as the opposite. Some get chatty when anxious, words tumbling out. You might do the reverse. Fewer words, flatter tone, right when you're most unsettled. From outside, that looks like dismissal, like you checked out. Meanwhile, you're just trying to hold it together without making a scene. A strange loneliness, being at your most fragile, having it read as your most fearsome. Psychologists call this expressive suppression, a defense mechanism where you clamp down on visible emotion, which ironically makes you appear more controlled and therefore more intimidating. Sync speed creates evaluative pauses that insecure brains interpret as criticism, and this might be genetic. Research from the University of California suggests variations in the serotonin transporter gene predict how much someone seeks validation through performative warmth. Your inability to perform approachability you don't feel might literally be in your DNA. But for some, this is a defense mechanism. Maybe you learned that stillness was safer than visibility. Your self-containment might have a backstory. Or maybe you just process internally before you emote. Both are valid. But here's what explains why intimidating people and easily approached people can't understand each other. It comes down to how you experience social energy. Approachable people find meaning in immediate warmth, the smile, the open door, instant inclusion. Intimidating people find that performative. They think, why perform warmth I don't feel to make someone comfortable when my stillness is more honest? Neither is wrong. Just two strategies for navigating connection. One finds meaning in speed, the other in depth. If even three of these sounded familiar, I want to say something plainly. None of this makes you hard to love. It makes you legible to the wrong instruments. People are reading you with tools built for loud, easy, performative warmth, and you were never built to run on that setting. The connection is still there underneath. It just needs one extra beat. A smile that arrives half a second later. A bit of unprompted softness in an otherwise direct sentence. You don't owe anyone a performance of approachability you don't feel. And honestly, most people worth knowing were never scared off by any of this. They just needed a slightly longer runway than the loud ones did. So what does this mean? If you've been told you're intimidating, you're not missing out by being still. You're not cold. You're not unlovable. You're just different. Your face's neutrality, your comfort with silence, your directness, your self-containment, all calibrated differently. The next time a room goes quiet when you walk in or someone braces before asking something small, remember you're not on trial. Their nervous system is catching up to who you actually are. And the people who stick around long enough to find out are usually the only ones worth the wait. And if this reached you at the right moment, I need you to do something, not later. Now, hit subscribe, turn on notifications. In and near Directness exists for people who've been read wrong their entire lives. Every week I break down the psychology of stillness, depth, and the quiet presence most people never learn to interpret. The world won't stop misreading you. But you can stop apologizing for being legible only to the right instruments. Subscribe now, not because you need another channel, but because you need the reminder that your silence isn't absence, it's density. If this resonated, you're probably going to love why your overthinking actually proves you have a high IQ and why your brain runs at a frequency most people can't access. Click one of these videos to find out why you process the world a little differently than the crowd. I'll see you there.